Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're testing the Recovery Queens. We're taking a friend Captain Bonney into the Forest of Training Straw. So this is the team, these are the supports. Let's dive in. Alright, so over here on stage 12, and on stage 12 we come up against Ryoiin. Now, I really wanted to start to this particular point because Ryoiin gives you 5 turns of special bind, and I just wanted to make it clear to you guys that you really want to make sure that you are switching with Luffy Sanji to actually remove that special bind. Now, I actually got rid of all the T&D orbs here just because I wanted to talk a little bit, but what I would do there is just attack with your Luffy Sanji, keep those T&D orbs, because then when you switch with Luffy Zoro once again, you can actually make them matching with their amazing sailor ability. But I just wanted to touch on the fact that the combination of Big Mom and Bonney is absolutely absurd. The two of them being so heavily based around recovery just works so nicely when you are hybriding these two units up. And this team is actually quite janky, but because of Big Mom's amazing captain ability boosting strength as well, it actually works very, very nicely. The downside is we are losing a bit of synergy when we do have our dex variations, but because we are using Fuji and Akainu, we can actually give ourselves matching a orb boost every single turn for our strength, int, and dex characters. So no matter what, we are getting the most of our switch abilities. We have the utility switch with Luffy and Zoro, we have the chain lock with Vivi Rebecca, and then we have the orb boost with our Sakazuki and Borsalino. Once we hit stage 13, though, we come up against Hold'em, and this is where the content actually starts to get a little bit tricky. Something to note about this particular team as well is the Magello is actually completely replaceable. You don't actually need the Magello for this particular run if you are using King Punch, but if you aren't using King Punch, you're definitely going to need to use the Magello, just so you can actually lock your orbs on this particular stage against Hold'em. On stage 2 against Hold'em, he actually gives us one turn of basically like all orbs unfavorable, and that actually works in our favor as Bonney's special ability actually rotates block, empty, I think it's like G and unfavorable slots into recovery. So the beautiful thing about doing that is we can actually get a full board of recovery orbs, and then we basically can abuse the Hawkins Forest like most stereotypical teams actually do. Before we move on from this particular stage, we are going to use the King Punch special. That way we can actually give ourselves a 3-turn orb boost to our fighter and driven characters, which is actually this entire team besides, well, 2/3 of this team I should say. But King Punch actually locks our orbs as well, so it's very, very nice. With the switch ability of our Sakazuki and Borsalino as well, we can give ourselves an orb buff, we can gobble up all those juicy meat orbs, and that way we can move on to the next stage against Kinemon and Kanjuro. Now, against Kinemon and Kanjuro, they're going to give us that orb lock mechanic, 4 perfects. This particular content was actually built for Luffy and Zoro per se, so that's why if you can always find a spot for them on the team, they're going to be really, really nice if you are trying to take down this particular forest. We get 3 turns of paralysis on our captains. We get a bunch of special reverse as well. Our middle characters get reversed by 3 turns, so that's why we had the support of Sabo or Lucy on our Vivi and Rebecca. Now, before we continue, I do want to make this very, very apparent, or very, very clear. You really want to make sure that your Luffy and Zoro unit is actually in the bottom left or in the middle right. You can easily swap Luffy, Sanji, and Vivi Rebecca if you want to. If you don't have that Lucy support, that'll work fine. And that way you can actually just use a stat booster to give yourself more attack on Vivi Rebecca. As Luffy Sanji special, we don't actually need that until the final stage. As you can see there, with the switch abilities of Sakazuki and Borsalino and Vivi and Rebecca, we can easily take that stage out. We have enough damage just to like clap it off over 2 turns, but make sure you do it over 2 turns. If you are trying this particular team, you do need to make sure that your Big Mom is actually limit break expanded. You really need that 1 turn of extra cooldown, so that way when we get to the Jack stage, we can actually get around all those nasty defects. I think with Jack, he gives us 4 turns of despair. I think it's 4 turns of despair on the 3rd turn. You might be able to get away without a limit break key Big Mom. Let me know in the comment section below if you did try that without a limit break expanded Big Mom. And when you're down there, make sure to smash that like button. If you're new to, hit the big red subscribe button too. But on the Kiyoshiro stage, once he puts up the damage reduction, it's basically when we're going to start doing our burst turn. We're going to switch with Sakazuki Borsalino to give ourselves an orb buff. And then with their special, we can actually give ourselves a 1.3 attack buff to int units with the support of Robin. Finally, we're going to finish it off with our Vivi Rebecca unit to remove those defensive effects. And then we're just going to start doing some damage to Kiyoshiro. Don't be afraid to hit some perfects here if you need to. Kiyoshiro actually has a lot of HP. So if you actually need to hit some perfects, don't be afraid to do so. Just remember to attack with Luffy, Zoro, or Vivi Rebecca first. Against Jack, he's actually going to despair us for 5 turns. Oh, he gives us paralysis, sorry, on the 3rd turn. So that's where this team will actually struggle, as you will actually get paralysis on that 3rd turn. So if you are trying this without a limit break expanded Big Mom, now that I'm actually looking at it, I don't actually think it's essential to have Big Mom limit break expanded. Yeah, I don't think it actually is, because we actually have like we actually had her special moving into this stage, and then we have that extra turn anyway. Just ignore that. I would highly recommend expanding your Big Mom Kaido if you have them anyway. But on the second turn against Jack, we're actually going to use the Big Mom and Big Mom special. With the support of Halloween Lore, we can get a 1.75 times orb buff, as well as a 2.25 attack boost just with one special. And then with our switch abilities of Vivi Rebecca, we can give ourselves Chain Lock, and then that way we can actually take out Jack in one turn. As you can see, with that orb buff that Lore can provide, you can actually do quite a bit of damage. But if you don't have Lore, I don't know if he's truly essential, as you can just use the switch ability of Sakazuki and Borsalino for the 1.5, but you may actually just have to hit a bit more perfects. On the next stage, we come up against Zorajiro, Soba Mask, and Wano Kuni Lore. They're going to blind our top and bottom right and our middle left. So that's why having Luffy Zoro in the bottom left or middle right is so clutch, as you can switch with them, remove the bind, and then we can use the switch abilities of our other units to give ourselves a chain lock and an orb boost if you need it. But with Big Mom's carryover effect, we can actually get a 2.5 times orb boost to our entire team, except for Zoro because he is a dex variation. But it doesn't matter too much because we are going to start the chain with him. He's not going to do too much damage, and ideally on the first turn, you just really want to kill Lore. This team has so much damage though, as you can see, hitting greats. We can take out Lore and Zorajiro, and that way we can focus on Soba Mask on the very next turn. Soba Mask, if you keep him alive, will sort of blow you away. Lore will roll back your special, so you really want to avoid that. But if you do need to hang around in this particular stage, make sure to keep Zoro alive. Zoro will actually give you 20 turns of like 2 specials, and then orb block us once again with empty orbs. But don't stress, because we've got all these perfect the perfect lock still, it's not going to matter, and you can sort of just hang around on him, eat your recovery orbs, and just literally stall on that stage forever. Once we hit the next stage, we come up against Jack. Now, Jack has 3 turns of damage reduction and threshold, and also gives us 3 turns of attack down. Against this particular stage against Jack, we're basically just going to hang out here, get our specials back, and then we can move on to the next stage against Kaido. Jack really doesn't do too much. He blows away our captain every 2 turns, and then he does like double attacks and turns into a dex unit. Besides that, he really doesn't do too much. Once you do get your specials back, or once you get your Big Mom special down to 2 turns, you're pretty much ready to go. Don't forget to use the Bonney super typing as well. That will actually give Bonney super typing actually just gives cooldowns to herself, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, ignore that. I actually use the Bonney super type. Like, you don't really need the Bonney super typing at all. I actually use it there, but as you can see, it really does absolutely nothing per se. So that was this is the Jack stage. We're gonna fast forward a little bit here until we actually take him out. Alright, so we're at the point now where the defensive effects are gone. We've stalled down to Big Mom having 3 turns on her special, so we are going to start taking out Jack. As you can see, we do so much goddamn damage just with the switch abilities of our Vivi Rebecca and our Sakazuki and Fujitora. Because we're getting a 1.5 times orb boost, we have a full board of matching orbs every turn and a 2.5 times chain lock. It just means we can output so much damage. And when it comes to Forest, the enemies don't have like all that much HP. They have good chunks of HP, but nothing too drastic. Now, on this stage against Jack, I do use the versatility of Big Mom. If you actually want to use the versatility of Big Mom, but like to turn all of the recovery orbs into similar slots before you actually lock them, you can definitely do that as well, but it really doesn't matter too much. I prefer to have the recovery orbs because you heal straight away, but the similar slots should do more. Let me know in the comment section below if actually similar slots give you more recovery. I'm not 100% sure if they actually do. I just know they can't be rotated. But once we hit the next stage against Kaido, he has he gives us 5 turns of burn. Now that burn is 15k, so be very, very careful when you are attacking through that burn. We are going to use the Big Mom special here. You don't really need to use the Big Mom special. You can actually hang on to it for a better attack boost. Well, not as high attack boost for our int units, but it's going to give you an attack boost to the rest of the team. But I prefer to use it here, as that way you can actually just take out Kaido in the very first turn. You're not taking too much damage, and you just don't even need to worry about hitting your perfects. If you want to, though, you can definitely hit 3 perfects to get the carryover effect, as you have enough HP to do so. But as you can see, it doesn't matter too much. On the next turn, we are going to switch into our Akainu as well as our Vivi. That way we can give ourselves the chain lock as well as the orb boost and take out the Kaido on the revive. Just remember to make sure you are switching with Zoro and Luffy after that revive, because we do get special blinded and we do need to remove that by the time we hit the Hawkins stage. Once we do hit the Hawkins stage, what we can actually do here is we can use the King Punch special to give our entire crew a 2 times orb boost, because Basil Hawkins has a defensive effect. That means that we can actually get the requirement of King Punch to give us a 2 times orb boost, and then we can actually use Bonney to give ourselves a massive chain lock. Actually, I think he wipes away our cumulative buffs. So, I think it's a 3 times chain lock. It could be a 3.5. I guess we'll find out when we're attacking. But Bonney will also give our int units a 2.5 times attack boost. With that, we just basically have enough damage, provided you manage to actually switch, or you are in your Fujitora stage. Make sure you are in Fujitora before you use this Akainu and Fujitora special. Otherwise, you will lose out on a lot of damage, and you may fall just short. So make sure to use the Vivi Rebecca special to remove the damage reduction, or the defense up. You want to make sure that you are in the Sakazuki, or the int variation of Akainu and Fuji. And then finally, we're actually going to use the Luffy and Zoro special. Now, we haven't actually used the Luffy Zoro special this entire run, and the big reason we haven't done that is because they have the support of Nami. The only reason they're here is basically just for their switch ability, and then to use their special in the final stage for despair removal. It's absolutely crazy that you can have a unit of this caliber just here for their switch ability, and that's why I think they're an S tier sub, if you guys have checked out my tier list. But as you can see, we have enough damage to take out Basil Hawkins there. We do have that 3.5 times chain lock, and we just managed to hit the 25 mil. I imagine if you use the Big Mom's attack boost there, you should be able to put a little bit more damage. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel too. Hit that big red subscribe button. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lates!